Hey guys, welcome to day 4 in caring for our bodies. I'm just heartbroken to hear that most of you are listening to me, and even some of you are fast forwarding on double speed just to get through the lesson and not watching these preciously prepared videos for you. I'm only teasing, don't stress. I need some grooming, my beard needs some trimming, and my hair needs a bit of a shave. So I don't blame you for listening. All good, as long as we're doing this together. Today is about care for your body with food. It's a hard one for the brains. We love food. Food is a love language to us. It's like one of our biggest reasons why Claire and I need to run, or I need to run like 5-6 times a week just to stay at a normal size and fit into my same pair of jeans. The habit I've got into is not buying bigger clothes. So when my clothes get a little tight, I know it's time to eat less and run a bit. That's just a way that I keep myself kind of like, not that I can't do with losing quite a bit. And food is a big one. So yeah, pray for Arno and pray for yourself. And as we speak about food today, ask God for help to use the gift of food well. It can be confusing to figure out what to eat. So many books, there's so many opinions, there's so many diets, there's so many conflicting advices. How can you sort through all the clutter and learn how to care for your body through what you eat and through the food? The Bible and food. Surprisingly, the Bible is full of reference to food. In Genesis, when we look at the scriptures in Genesis, we learn that food is given as a gift to enjoy. Boy, do the brains love food and good meals. We also believe it's a great way to build community. It's also what Satan first used to tempt us to disobey God in Genesis 3. So food is both a gift and also used to tempt us, like most things in life. Like alcohol and all the good things in life. So it's not surprising that it's something many people struggle with today. When God called Israel to himself, he talks a lot about food and what they should eat. He even provides food for them. God gave the Passover meal to Israel, the communion meal to his church. Food is everywhere in Scripture. It's vital and important to our lives. Food shows up everywhere in Jesus' ministry. And the New Testament scholar Robert Carus writes this. He says, in Luke's Gospel, Jesus is either going to a meal, at a meal, or coming from a meal. I love that. If you remove the food from the Gospels, the Gospels would be a lot shorter. Food is also in our future. Jesus, when he returns, says we'll enjoy a meal, a heavenly meal. In Revelations, it says so. Also, my favorite verse in Isaiah speaks of heaven on the mountain of God when we get together in eternity. There will be a feast with meat with marrow in the bone, the best meat, the best breads, the best wines. Clearly, God gave us food to enjoy as a gift. Go eat your bread and enjoy, and drink your wine with a merry heart in Ecclesiastes. Love Ecclesiastes. It's a way to connect and build relationships with people. Claire and I literally think we've built church around dining room tables. Food is part of eternity. I love how Robert Farrar Capon reminds us of God's goodness and delight in what he's created. And this is what Capon writes to us. He says, he likes onions, therefore they are. The fit, the colors, the smell, the tensions, the taste, the textures, the lines, the shapes are a response to some forgotten degree or decree that there may as well be onions and turnips. But in his present delight, his intimate and immediate joy in all you have seen, and the thousands of wonders you do not even suspect. I'm going to read that again. He likes onions, therefore they are. I think he's speaking of God's goodness and God's delight, even in onions. The fit, the colors, the size, the colors, the smell, the tensions, the taste, the textures, the lines, the shapes are a response not to some forgotten decree that there may as well be some onions and turnips, but in his present delight. And God delights in onions and turnips. Who knew? His intimate and immediate joy in all that he's created and made. Andrew Wilson writes a book, God of all things, where he speaks of even veggies and onions. Food keeps us alive, but it's not all it does. Its eternal purpose is to furnish our sensibilities against the day when we shall sit down in a heavenly banquet and see how gracious the Lord is. I love having meals and reminding ourselves that one day we'll be sitting around a meal with Jesus and our Father in heaven. Food is a gift, and yet, as with all things that are created, food needs to be kept in its place. God, not food, is what ultimately satisfies. Matthew, Jesus speaks about bread and the living water, that he actually is the living bread. The heart of eating. We'll get to how the how of eating in a minute. The really tough part, though, isn't the how; it's in our hearts. In a book full, Asharita Chachao describes some of her struggles with compulsive eating patterns. She realizes that these patterns aren't about the food itself; they're about her heart. Until we deal with the heart issue of seeking fullness in food instead of God, our eating habits will never change, she writes. Our ongoing struggle in all of life is to enjoy God's gifts without loving them too much. Satan's strategy is to take God's good gifts, such as food, weaponize them, and turn them against us. Very true. Our call is to enjoy these gifts the way God intends, to submit these gifts to Him, and to find our ultimate satisfaction in Him. Bottom line, food is often a spiritual battlefield. It's very, very true. That thought can be uncomfortable in a Western mentality and cause us to skip right to the practical. Let's just get on diets and let's watch what we eat. As Christians who desire to follow Jesus, don't neglect the spiritual dimension. Ask God for help. It is a spiritual battle for many people, for many of us. Ask Him to help you find the joy He intends in food and find the ultimate satisfaction in Him. Cultivate your love for Jesus. I love how Darrell Dash points us to Jesus as to control or to manage or to lead us in our battle to find our comfort and our joy in food. We have to find it in Him above food. The how of eating. What are some practical steps that you can take to eat well? I like Michael Pollan's advice in the food rules. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. Let's break that down. Eat food, real food, stuff that your grandmother and your grandparents ate and would have eaten. Food that's minimally processed and nutritious. Eat more plants. North American diets tend to be heavy on refined sugar, fats, grains, and meat. Adding more well-grown plants from healthy soil adds color, taste, and variety to your plate. Not only does it taste great, it also boosts the nutrients, helping your body function and perform better. Don't eat too much. Enough to satisfy and fuel you, but not enough to negatively impact your health. I think that's for all of us. Be sure to check on these tips and resources in the reflection and response section in this lesson. What to do today? Firstly, let's remember that God cares about our bodies, including what we eat. He gives us food as a sign of His love and care for us. Enjoy our food. I know many people that don't enjoy food, where food has become almost a guilty thing or struggle to even eat meals because of health and weight and look and stuff like that. But we have to find a joy and a freedom and really enjoy our meals. Like we say, eat the right food and don't eat too much. Notice what you feel or don't feel without judgment as you eat today. Bring your feelings honestly before God. And thirdly, ask God for His help to enjoy food in a way that contributes to your spiritual and physical health. I love how Darrell Dash connects spiritual and physical health for us. So let's take this to God and let's ask God to help us. If food has become a joyless thing for you, almost a pain for you, then ask God to restore your joy. And if food has become too much of a joy where you rely on food more than you rely on Christ for your joy and comfort, let's ask Christ to become our ultimate satisfaction. Have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday, our last day on caring for our bodies. Well, just for the habit at least, not forever.